course, I feel like she is possibly one of the strongest, or if not the strongest, female player that's active right now. I mean, Hafu has kind of retired from the competitive scene, and of course some Amy's have also kind of retired.
Fair enough. And you know what? It's not because that there aren't good female players out there. It's that we don't know many good female players. Nadia, she comes in here, one of the more practiced ones. She streams her runs all the time, whether it's on her own channel for Archon or for NVIDIA. So I'm looking forward to see what she's got. But what a way to start off. You've got Hunter staring down the face, and it's going to be a pretty aggressive curve coming in here.
Yeah, Worgen Infiltrator. Usually players only run one of those cards in their decks. It's kind of like the zombie chow of Hunter, and you just always want to draw it on turn 1. And it's pretty much perfect.
I've been seeing 2, just because I remember Firebat was analyzing that. He says he thinks 6 1-drops is the optimal. He says you have to have the Leper Gnomes, the Abusive Sergeants, and the Worgen Infiltrators. That way you can maximize your chance. Not for when you're going second per se, but when you're going first, because that 1-drop is so key.
Yeah, I remember him telling me about that, like, before he's a world champion. Like, pretty much like 4 months before he's a world champion. And when he told me that, I was like, wow, this is like, you really, like, understand this game. You really put the time into this game, and that's why you're going to become world champion.
Well, that's why he is the world champion.
Well, this was 4 months before.
Oh, okay. Touche. Worgen Infiltrator doing some work, getting in 4 damage. Another Worgen.
Oh, there's the second Worgen.
And
Looks like
there's a snake trap that people are really working in. I like the mind games of it. I like it a lot. Yesterday we saw Show guess wrong twice against snake trap and explosive, but he still won. But like it was like really awkward. Like it was 2 knife jugglers and he guessed wrong with snake trap and it threw 6 juggles out. And somehow didn't work.
Some players are even playing freezing trap in Phase Hunters as well, and we saw.
Oh yeah, Hoi actually won by a game with that.
And he basically what happened was Hyped actually misplayed around traps in a game when he had actually won. I don't know if you saw that game. It was Hyped versus RDU.
That's so funny.
Did you see it?
No, I'm just saying it's so funny how you misplay around it, but you still win.
Well, actually, he lost because he missed lethal because he thought it was a different trap.
Oh, I thought you said he still won. What do you think about a teacher prep Blade Flurry this turn here from Nadia?
I like it.
Feels like it's pretty strong. You develop some more minions for Unleash the Hounds, but you're starting to take the board initiative, and you force your opponent in a way to be able to respond to it perfectly.
Yeah, I feel like the key comeback turn for rogues all the time is that turn 4 where they can teacher plus prep plus a spell that takes back the board. And it's just the strength of rogue, both clearing your opponent's board and developing on this same turn. Like pretty much this with the preparation, it's about like the Vi teacher with these 2 tokens are worth about 5 mana plus the Blade Flurry is worth about like 3 mana in combination with the hero power. So that's like a 8 mana turn in some respects.
Yeah, I like that Nadia took the initiative here. Dog, he plays Explosive Trap, trying to see if he can soften up the board, make sure Knife Joke has a bigger impact. But the follow-up, the Azure Drake, gives Nadia some opportunity here to pick up even bigger plays.
Yeah.
I think at this point Nadia needs just damage to try to see if she can raise, because at one point you're not going to be able to keep up this kind of pace. Hunter's going to still rack in damage.
Yeah, at this point I feel like Dog has enough cards in his hand that he can actually just afford to not hero power in the next few turns and just go for the just throw all the cards that he has onto the board. Like I'd like to see something like Knife Juggler, Worgen, and Glaive Zuka.
Not the Snake Trap?
The reason I don't like Snake Trap is because when you have a Knife Juggler on the board, then your opponent is definitely not going to want to play not going to want to play that or attack into the Knife Juggler. So he'll probably be racing you anyway.
Fair enough. And plus he can save Knife Juggler for Unleash the Hounds if he draws it. Still really scary because Nadia is getting pretty low on life. She's past the halfway point. Just amazing the psychology of Face Hunter sometimes. It's like you still have like half your life, but if you're at 15, you're like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh man, and that Worgen Infiltrator getting 3 damage is so big too. Does Nadia even stack any more minions? Is she afraid of dying to Unleash the Hounds? Unleash the Hounds kill command is at least 8 damage, plus what's on board, so...
Yeah, I think she also has to consider if she can kill, or rather, yeah, if she can kill her opponent in the next turn, like depending on the number of minions she puts on the board.
If she daggers up in Deadly Poison, she does 6 damage. If the Azure Drake survives, she's guaranteed to kill. I personally think you just dagger and attack.
Yeah, I like this too.
Yeah.
Like the other option actually doesn't put any more damage onto the board. Like either the Vi teacher is going to attack for 3 next turn, or you're going to attack for 3 this turn. Arcane Golem.
Is that it?
3,
4, 7, 10, 12. That's perfect damage. That was the exact card that Dog needed to end that game.
Not only was it the exact card, it was like the only card in his deck that could have ended the game.
Yeah,
right?
3. Well, unless it was a Huffer, right? Huffer could have been it too, but dang, what a heartbreaking loss here for Nadia. But at the same time, Dog's doing dog things, and he wins with Face Hunter. And I know that Dog personally detests Face Hunter in a way. So I think this is an excellent mix-up from Dog to bring it to a tournament and show what he's got. He also had Dog wants to get some early mana acceleration of some sort, and then Nadia just needs minions. Minions to present threats. Or even, sometimes I'm not even sad if I get a sap off the mulligan, because I know Druids can do very funky things and pressure me, so I like earning it back. Yeah. That's just a personal preference. I know a lot of people would rather have minions. Wild Growth on turn 2 is pretty much what he wanted, and he has the curve to follow it up with the Shredder and the Sludge Belcher. Not good start here for Nadia. And Dog's going to be looking to just keep on putting on the pressure. Yeah,
what Nadia is really looking for is that combination of Violet Teacher plus Preparation plus some spell that takes back the board. In this circumstance, either Eviscerate or Sap.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Monk. Is that second Wild Growth a good draw? Because I feel like it's what do you think?
I think with the exact hand that he has right now, it's not really a great draw. Like if you were missing the Sludge Belcher or the Ancient of Lore, perhaps. Like no, if you were just missing the Sludge Belcher, then he could use the Wild Growth on turn 5.
Oh, well, I'm not sure how to evaluate that. I guess
not really.
That stinks for Dog, right?
Exactly.
Wow, well that's really funny. I guess I feel like every single day I've casted a Doomsayer or a Pilot Shredder, a Doomsayer's popped out.
Yeah, it's the 1 a day keeps the doctor away. Doomsayers. Well, actually, it probably like if you're like a Doomsayer, then you're like heralding the end of the world all the time. So
that's true.
You'll probably like go to the mental hospital, and it actually doesn't keep the doctor away.
What's really hilarious when it's like the Pilot Sky Golem drops a Pilot Shredder, which then drops a Doomsayer. It's happened to me before.
It's happened to you. Okay, but I don't think it's happened on stream before.
No, right? No. But it happened to me, and I was just like, really? Because both of them were just such bad outcomes for me.
What's even worse is I saw a Reddit post where the guy had a piloted Sky Golem and a piloted Shredder on the field, and out popped out Auchenai Soul Priest and Vitality Totem.
Oh man, that's so funny. I wonder if the only thing worse is Mistress of Pain and the Hawkeye Soul Priest. Really awkward turn for Nadia again. Although she gets Preparation, so that's going to be convenient for the next turns.
Yeah. I feel like Preparation is like just one of the key cards in this matchup, getting the tempo back from the Druid.
Especially if they had Wild Growth or Innervate. Also, I like the idea that you're not married to the coin. Before, Miracle Rogues really need that coin to push out some powerful turns, but generally speaking, it's not going to be doing anything good.
Yeah. I actually really like the design of Rogue after Gadgetzan Auctioneer was nerfed. It allowed Preparation to become like kind of like an Innervate type tempo card.
Right, what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the cycle.
Yeah, the cycle plus that.
Yeah, because it's not the fact that it's just Preparation, it's the fact that Preparation allows you to Fate of Knives and draw a card and control the board and gain tempo. It's just like too much.
Yeah, I feel like Preparation out of all cards that Rogue has, it's like the signature card of Rogue. Right?
I used to think about that. I used to think about Shadow Step too, because Shadow Step was so nasty back in the day. Even when Leroy was nerfed, you could still do some really funky stuff.
Yeah,
like Lotheb, Shadow Stepping Lotheb, and playing Fan Cleave. Like, that combination was nuts.
Yeah, like the Teray list. Like, you could Shadow Step like Alex Straza.
Yeah, or Harrison, or like some weird stuff. It's kind of sad that Shadow Step's fallen out of the meta game, because I thought it was one of the coolest cards.
Well, I guess we need more minions that have charge and deal damage to the face.
Or maybe...
Hashtag unnerf Leroy.
Free Leroy.
Free Leroy. Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, there's the sprint here. 6 mana, generally speaking, I've started getting pretty fond of for Rogue, because the preparation sprint allows you to develop the weapon. You're still not under like game-breaking pressure. You're at 27 health. Even if your opponent had worst-case scenario innervate combo, you'd be alive at 6 HP.
Yep.
The thing is, you do concede the board even more to Druid, and you don't have like a Blade Flurry guarantee. So developing the Pilot Shredder is also extremely reasonable in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the sprint would be either option was okay. If you opted for the sprint play, what you could have hoped for was like a Blade Flurry, for instance. It's kind of similar to Lay on Hands plus Equality Conservation versus Sprint plus Tinker Sharp Sword Oil into Blade Flurry. Both are, you draw cards and you lose initiative for 1 turn, but you try to gain back the board on the following turn.
It's just that you can't prep Sprint and get away with Oil plays this turn now. That's the only like drawback of Nadia's play here. Like, again, both are perfectly reasonable. It's just one has more strengths than the others. In this case, Nadia has better board presence, but she's still like missing the cards to go for that game-defining swing, which can win her the board and consequently tie up the series.
Yeah, and exactly on this turn, in fact, you're also being threatened by lethal from your opponent, because your opponent is going up to that key 9 mana turn.
Second prep would be really good with Blade Flurry.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, she gets half of that.
Yeah. So how do you leverage this now? So if you sap the Sludge Belcher, prep oil, sap or slap the Sludge Belcher.
You're annoying, Sludge Belcher. Go away.
She's just gonna go face, no respect. Oh, she trades, and it's another Doomsayer.
What? 2 Doomsayers in 1 game. What is this?
That's so funny. You know what's also really funny? If that gets silenced, that's like another body, which it can absorb the oil.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it becomes like a 3/7. It's like, what? That's pretty sick.
Yeah, as you can see from the reactions of both players, I think Nadia is fairly happy about that.
I don't know, man. It's just awkward all around.
Yeah.
But you definitely are on the more happy side, because now you basically gain health or a board clear.
Yeah, Dog will probably be forced to silence this and lose initiative on the board, pretty much. Putting a 2/4 minion for 4 mana is not what you want at this point.
But he still has, you know, a plethora of 5 mana minions. Like,
yeah, he has actually 4 choices in terms of 5 drops, because he has 2 options for Druid of the Claw at this point.
Even Shade fits the curve. Keeper of the Grove, I mean, perfectly reasonable. It's just very amusing that it's turned out this way. Drake can be powerful. It's just that there is no Blade Flurry in Nadia's hand.
Yeah, not even the second Eviscerate.
Man, if that Drake was Blade Flurry, imagine the powerful combinations of Violet Teachers and Blade Flurry and just getting the minions on board.
Yeah.
Oh, the Blade Flurry. You know what? It still leaves that token, so that's still problematic, but at least you're out of the combo range now.
Yeah, I think you just have to go for it at this point.
Absolutely.
It's a little disappointing though, because you know, again, like your opponent has a plethora of minions in his hand, and you just used up this 1 Blade Flurry against like this board that's not really that strong. So basically, Druid will be able to develop again, probably with double 5-drop, because when your opponent has this many cards, he almost certainly has double 5-drop. So you're gonna be hard pressed to clear this board a second time, and I think Dog is gonna know that, because the Blade Flurry was played from all the way on that side of the hand.
I like to see the draw with the Azure Drake. Dog does go for it. He picks up the full combo, Force of Nature, Savage Roar. The fact that he can't kill that Azure Drake, though, is frightening.
You can technically kill the Azure Drake.
Oh, I guess if you charge it. you charge it with the Druid Claw, or you give up Savage Roar, which both feels pretty bad. But, you know, charging the Druid Claw still presents the problem that you threaten to kill your opponent. But it's so easy just to remove that slime.
Yeah, I think because he played that Druid Claw, he was definitely going to charge it in some way.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think Dog at this point, he knows that he's ahead, so he just doesn't want to lose in like some kind of blowout play from Nadia.
Right. Now, what's also scary is the other end is you can't. Actually, you can. I was like, you can't easily deal with the Azure Drake, but you can if you use Oil this turn. Then you have the Doomsayer kill off the slime,
well,
and you kill off the Drake, and then you can develop something else.
The problem with Oil is that you're not guaranteed to have it rest on the Doomsayer.
Oh, you're right. If you play Farseer, then it could land on it too. Oh, that's so problematic.
I think you can just go for it though.
The alternative is to... Is there an alternative? There really isn't. I guess the alternative is to just SI7, like let him have 20 damage of combo and just develop something else. But then leaving the Drake up. Okay, so she's going for the guaranteed.
Wait.
Because she's going to SI7.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Reasonable.
This guy's
you know, that's the better play for sure. Yeah. It's more consistent. You don't want to leave it up to a 50-50.
Well, it does tell you a bit about Nadia's personality that she kind of wants to go for more safer stuff.
All right. Well, the swipe being drawn gives Dog definitely some more options here to deal with the board, play a stronger minion. Druid the Claw should be the one coming down here, though, right?
Yeah, almost certainly.
Because if you play Shade and Big Game Hunter, it's so vulnerable to, like, Fan of Knives if it has any kind of spell power behind it.
You've also seen both saps coming from Nadia, so you're not really afraid of a second sap. You're kind of, at this point, you're kind of afraid of that second Blade Flurry because Nadia has so much time to draw it. But just developing one minion leaves you not so vulnerable to that. Oh, but...
Man mode!
Yeah.
I like it. Swiping the face so you guaranteed have the damage to kill. Well, at least in his mind. And he okay. I was like, if you play double 3-drop, you're opening yourself up to a world of possibilities of it failing.
That being said, like the Shade is
pretty
probably
tempting.
Yeah, pretty tempting.
Because then you have no stealth.
Yeah, if Nadia had that second Farseer or anti-kill bot, what Dog might be looking into is that Nadia's already played one Earthring Farseer, and in a lot of lists, there's not two Earthring Farseers. Like you cut one for the Van Cleef. Or,
let alone have both of them in your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, Nadia looks like she's gonna try to see if she can get the backstab to develop the 1/1, and then swipe already has been used. That's really good. She definitely has to prioritize the Farseer as well. So if she plays Bio Teacher, Thalnos, backstabs the bear, and then Farseer's up, I think she's in a pretty good spot. This is a very good line of sight, or line that she's taking.
Yeah.
Line of sight. This isn't Call of Duty.
Yeah, especially because that swipe has just been used. So now it's going to be actually Dog on the back foot.
Yeah.
What to do?
So how much damage is Dog looking at right now? 3,
5, 8, 12.
12.
12
okay.
with the possibility of like any eviscerate, killing him.
What Dog can do now is just maybe go for it. Actually,
just combo?
Actually, you know what? You could actually Shade of Naxxramas and then Savage Roar on this turn. After a Wild Growth, of course. If you don't get anything, you Shade of Naxxramas, then Savage Roar, hit for like get your opponent down to 14 or 13, and then hope that you survive the next turn.
Unless he picks up second swipe. That'd be excellent as well.
Sylvanas.
This is interesting, but I like this. What you're saying, using the Savage Roar here. Of course, you're telegraphing all intentions. There's nothing like Nadia is known for multiple turns now that Dog is intending to kill her with this 2-card combination.
I mean, like the previous turn, Dog swiped her in the face. Right?
So this Azure Drake draw could be lethal.
Yeah, or it could be a Lothep, which prevents lethal from the opponent. SI.
Is that enough? 4, 5, 8, 12, 14? No, it's not. What if she attacks with Thanos and SI7 Thanos to draw for lethal. Eviscerate.
I like it. I like it.
Eviscerate for the win. Would that be enough?
So I'm not sure how many cards Nadia has left in her deck, but there's only one Eviscerate left, so that's like a 1 in 10. But I think you do have to go for it.
That would be super sexy if she went for that kind of play and got it.
Let's do it. What? Oh, okay.
All right, SI7, the Thanos.
Come on.
She sees it.
This guy's toast.
And it's...
The moment of truth.
Backstab.
Oh, backstab. Oh, actually, you know what? Blade Flurry would have been... No.
There's not 2 charges, yeah? It basically was Eviscerate
I thought
or
it was
bust.
2 charges, yeah. It was Eviscerate or bust. And Dog breathes a sigh of relief. He's able to take this game, and really good planning again. Just being able to try and press for the win. Doesn't really need that Innervate now because he used the second Savage Roar, but just in case, he has that opportunity to smack it down. And Dog's going to win game number 2 here and sends Nadia on elimination.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nadia, in her first debut big tournament, she's down 0-2 just in the opening round.
To find a use for Resurrect. Like, he loves Priest. I think Gara will definitely explore that possibility as well.
Yeah, Kalento's like the type of player who likes to use cards like Reincarnation, for example. He's like I believe one of the only players who's ever used Reincarnation in a competitive deck.
Yeah, Magic Wind was also another player that tried making it happen. All right, so Mage is remaining, but Nadia goes for Druid to try and fight off this Mech Mage onslaught, and that's going to be really difficult. She has Wild Growth, she has Innervate, but does she have other things to do to stop this pressure?
Wow, that's interesting.
I mean, if he has Emperor Thorazon, that's going to be like an old 8-mana Pyroblast.
That's true. Yeah, Emperor Thorazon, in some ways, it just unnerfs every single card that's been nerfed, right?
Right.
Like, yeah. Leroy Jenkins, 4 mana. Alicia Hounds, go back to 2 mana.
Sylvanas at 5.
Yeah.
Shivs at 1. Good times. And it's always like perspective, because you always think, okay, 1 mana, is that really that big of a difference? But it so is.
Yeah. So yeah, like when Sylvanas was 5 mana, it was an auto include in every deck. When it turned back to 6 mana, it was pretty much like half the decks took it out. But when the Death Rattle effect was fixed, more decks put it back in.
Spider Tank coming into hand here. Tinkertown does not get the buff. Dog hovering over Mirror Entity because her opponent or his opponent has ramped so much that most likely whatever Nadia drops, it's going to be like significant. Her best drop here would actually be, or best draw would be
Keeper of the Grove.
I was going to say Zombie Chow, because if you Zombie Chow, then you can innervate the Keeper, the Ancient of Lore.
Perhaps like Kazan Mystic, but outside of like
Kazan Mystic would have been nasty.
Outside of those like kind of more techie cards, like this is the most standard draw.
Yep.
That's best for Dog.
3 mana, 2/4. Reasonable.
It's like Imp Gang Boss, without the awesome effect.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's any merit to attacking the Keeper of the Grove, but I don't think so. Yeah, because you're going to be playing Ancient of Lore next turn.
Yeah, and you're going to be playing Pilot Shredder this turn anyway.
Well, I was saying on Nadia's end, should she have considered the possibility of attacking that Keeper of the Grove?
But you couldn't last turn, right? Because your Keeper couldn't attack. Oh, you mean
no,
with
the
your hero power.
The hero power.
I see. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Is there any evaluation? But don't really think so. Oh my, Innervate Wrath. How can she utilize this? Killing off that Pilot Shredder does have its inherent risks. She does seem to be more of a conservative player here.
I kind of did like getting rid of the Pilot Shredder though, because it forces a mech off the field. So
yeah, that's a really good point.
If your opponent didn't have like a Goblin Blast Mage or like a if he had a Goblin Blast Mage or a Tinkertown Technician, he would have been forced to play another mech with it, and so you're forcing him to have both a mech and those cards.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Dog gets the Emergency Coolant. Really powerful for tempo, freezing that on the board.
Yeah.
Especially considering that, Nadia's coming up on a turn where maybe she can combo or do something with it. In fact, she can combo next turn, just not enough damage to wipe off that Mech Mage.
Yeah. Emergency Coolant, probably, I guess, the best spare part against Druid, because you just freeze up all their big minions. like Ancient of Lore or basically all their non-top minions. I think Ancient of Lore is actually, besides the Dr. Boom, is probably the best minion to freeze in Druid.
Right. Quinning out Annoyatron to stop the Keeper of the Grove would also be very problematic. Does so. People still aren't doing it, Monk, putting Pilot Shredder in the middle of stuff.
I know, like I've seen it. You brought it up so much that like I begin noticing it pretty much in every stream.
Yeah.
I feel like the majority of people the majority of streamers even, they don't do it.
Yeah. What you need to do is make sure to position that pilot so that if Flame Tongue Totem or Direwolf Alpha come out, you need to have that in proper position. Ooh, Lotheb. Okay, so originally I thought he was gonna Wrath. Is Lotheb slightly better because now she has combo and maybe can be threatening to kill?
Yeah, the funny thing is because Nadia has ramped so much, that Pyroblast probably won't go into effect. Like I feel like Nadia will just combo out of the game before Pyroblast can, before the next like 3 or 4 turns, in fact.
All right, so Dog has to worry about the possibility of dying. Maximum damage would be enough.
Yeah.
It'd be like over 30, I think. So if he has to trade down some of these minions.
Yeah, it's 31.
So you attack the Pilot Shredder into the Drake first? Or do you think there's a better trade? I guess you can Frostbolt ping it. But if you Frostbolt ping, you can't develop Spire Tank, which is the better. Oh no, you can play Mech Warper and free. Okay, so you can play Mech Warper, Frostbolt, and then Spire Tank.
Yeah, I feel that's fair.
Okay, and then you Frostbolt. Would you Frostbolt the Ancient Lord just because it's the most damage? Since you're not killing the Drake anyways. Alright, well he's gonna trade this in then. Fair enough.
Iron Peak Owl.
Yeah, Iron Beak's definitely one of the weakest, so that way swipe is high impact.
So even though okay,
Frostbolt to the
Frostbolt
face.
Wow. So even though Dog will survive, this combo will still get a lot of value with this many minions on the board. Okay, I like this one by Dog.
It's pretty safe trades overall. Nadia has... Oh, okay, so she'd ideally want to keep the Innervate, right? So that she can do 2 Savage Roars. Her proponent just showed that she had kind of a problem with dealing with like a bigger board in general. Because the Ancient Lore survives, it's like 31 damage.
Yeah.
So if you just put like Sludge Belcher and then kill off the Owl, or even Lotheb. No, Lotheb gets... Yeah, Sludge Belcher's more problematic.
Yeah, I like this. I don't like comboing here because now you can set up for lethal.
That old 4-card combination. I remember when I first saw it with Ecop doing it in DreamHack. Was it summer or winter? I think it was summer. I was like, wow, that actually seems quite dumb.
Yeah. Well, I first saw it on Artosis' stream back in the day.
Gosh.
Do you remember that? It was like the big thing, like
because everyone was thinking about OTKs. There's Warriors doing the Molten Giant combination, and then Rogue was doing the
just standard Leroy stuff.
Standard Rogue stuff, and then people were like, well, do you just do it with every class? Dog, you're killing me, bro. Put that Shredder in the middle.
Putting it everywhere but the middle. First on the left and on the right.
Nah, it's all good. It's just one of those things where once you hear about it, you're like, okay. But until then, it's going to happen 1% of the time.
Well, actually, not 1%. It's more like it's like 2. It's like 2 out of 60 something.
So 3%.
Yeah, 3%. Yeah.
All right. Well, Dog's actually dead because he didn't kill off this this Ancient of Lore. So Nadia's going to win game 3, and I don't blame him. You rarely play around the 4-card combo because if you do all the time, you're gonna lose more often than you win because you're expecting it too much.
It's just like when you're playing around double kill command as the hunter, or when you're playing against hunter, you just can't play.
You make so many suboptimal moves that you actually give them time to potentially draw into it.
Yeah. Sometimes like when you play around stuff like that, you just have to like hero power every turn as Druid, right?
Yeah. So Nadia's on the board as long as she sees it. I mean, it might be a possibility that she's getting a little intimidated, but I don't think so. She's been playing pretty spot on for the most part. And Savage Roar combination will be able to finish it off. Dog. A little whimsical laughter. But,
Dog's like, yeah, I played Druid. I know how this works.
To be fair, he was also beating Nadia with the Druid combo. Now, I wonder how many games have actually not finished with the Druid combo in recent competitive history. If you see Druid games, I want to see like some kind of statistic that shows how many games actually end using Savage Roar and Force of Nature.
That's true. I feel
versus the Mech Mage, not too much variation between list to list. Before, it would be a combination of whether or not you're playing secrets, but I think most people have transitioned to having a secret list by now.
Yeah, so unless you're Reynad and you run Water Elementals and Blinktrons, the main difference between lists is the 4, 5, and 6 mana slot. The Mechanical Yeti has, originally people ran 2 Mechanical Yetis, but now they've been running 1, and more recently people have been running 0. So what it's phased out for instead is like 1 Azure Drake, the 2nd Azure Drake, Lotheb, or a piloted Sky Golem. So just people have been curving out a bit heavier towards bigger curves, but we can see like Nadia still is going with the old tried and true Mechanical Yeti.
Okay, so Dog has the Mech Warper.
Yes. And therefore Dog is winning.
Dog is in a pretty serious advantage because he not only has coin for 1 turn, he has coin for 2 turns now. Essentially, he's going first.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And not only that, he has the Mad Scientist, which is a really high impact card too. Usually, like the Mech Mage, it has a lot of low 1-drops, but usually you play them the first few turns. So by turn 4 or 5, you usually only have like Goblin Blast Mage or Piloted Shredder left in your deck, or left in your hand rather.
Speaking of which, could be a high impact card for sure. All right, 2 Tinkertowns.
I mean,
Tinkertown definitely feels like the better play over Spider Tank, just because you put out the 4/4 to contest on the board.
You also don't have a Blast Mage in your hand. I could definitely see Spider Tank being the play if there were a Blast Mage, just to get more mechs on the field to guarantee a mech for turn 4.
I feel like Time Reminder is one of the worst ones you can get.
Yeah, it's more of a Time Reminder is more of like a value play where you really need the tempo at this point.
Yeah, almost anything else would have been better. Plus attack, plus health. You know, even giving some minion taunt, so that way you force into bad trades. Speaking of which, bad trade city starting to happen, but maybe the freeze with the Snow Chugger onto the Spider Tank could buy Nadia some valuable time here. She gets Mirror Entity. Yeah, that's pretty clunky.
I feel like this is one of those matchups where it's just really hard to come back into. Usually in some other matchups, you can rely on your opponent drawing dead and not curving out well, but with Mech Mage, like there's just so many ways to curve out, and most of your minions are very low curving anyway. So yeah, just like Dog just has so much of a choice as to what to play at this moment.
Yeah, I like just pushing at the Mad Scientist so you can get that secret and get ahead on the board. Plus, your opponent's the one with the onus of trading correctly.
Yeah. That being said, this mech or Mechanical Yeti is doing a lot of work. Like imagine if that had been an Azure Drake or a Lotheb or even a Pilot Sky Golem. Right now it can trade into the Tinkertown Technician, and it just trades perfectly with all of the Mech Mage 3-drops, like the 3/4 Spider Tank and the Technician.
A second Time Rewinder. That's not good either.
I'm glad Nadia can take it in stride though. She cracks a bit of a smile.
Nadia in general is pretty chill. Like definitely like one of the most laid-back people in the scene. Taking out the Tinkertown is also good, but that's also the last mech on board if you kill a Spider Tank. So I think it's worth evaluating, but it is the most damage and the most health.
Yeah.
Just because Goblin Blast Mage, oh man, if that was a Goblin Blast Mage, could have done some serious work on the board.
Yeah, neither player has drawn that Goblin Blast Mage, which is, I feel, the most impactful card in Mech Mage as a whole. It's like the most overpowered card. People talk about Dr. Boom, of course, but I feel like Goblin Blast Mage is actually, if it were not for that mech qualifier that it has in its description, it would probably be like a 5-mana creature.
Sure.
So getting a full mana of value just because you play mechs in your deck, which are overall not even that bad.
All right, Yeti gonna give him another spare part, and he gets the Whirling Blade, so a plus attack. And it seems like Dog's been trying his best to take the really effective trades, but Nadia's not too far behind now that she picked up Mech Warper.
Yeah.
In fact, Mech Warper only will take 4 mana total, which gives her the room to hero power and effectively climb back on the board pretty convincingly. So Dog is going to be the one in the backseat.
Yeah, that being said, like, I wonder if she actually holds on to this Clockwork Gnome. I would actually consider holding it on just because, you know, a Mirror Entity will probably pop out soon from the Mad Scientist.
Ooh, do you like that attack to the face? It's a pretty ambitious attack.
Yeah, I guess not especially because you do have a Spider Tank on the field as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that actually opens you up to a pretty good trade from the Tinkertown. Plus, there's a lot of spare parts that you might be misaccounting for. If there's
like the
plus
health, yeah.
Yeah, that could really mess you up.
Yeah.
Although maybe she wants to utilize time rewinders effectively, and Tinkertown Technician is the only thing that you can time rewind effectively. That could be a possibility there, and I wouldn't blame it just to get more spare parts to fill her hand, because right now Dog has card advantage way over her opponent.
Yeah, before it was Dog who had the tempo advantage, but now Nadia's kind of gotten it back. But now Dog has traded his tempo advantage for the hand advantage, because he's the one that's been kind of weaving in a few hero powers in and out just to get the most value.
Yeah, I like the Pilot Shredder just to be sticky. Yeah, Snowchuck, and just in general, play like the best means you can.
Okay, this is an interesting trade. This doesn't allow Nadia to ping off the Tinkertown Technician. See, yeah, this is the exact situation that I was trying to describe.
Where you know Mirror Entity would be coming out?
Yeah. Like, now this is much more...
awkward?
Yes. I guess you could time rewinder the Tinkertown Technician.
Right, so kill off Snowchucker first and rewind it?
Yes, and then from that, like, you give your opponent a 3/3, right? Or is it
4/4? Yeah,
okay.
it's post Battle Cry. So, because Battle Cry triggers before anything else on the board. So, if you give her a 4/4, but you still can utilize 6 mana? Oh no, 3 mana. Oh, what if she gets a coolant? That actually might be really good. To be able to utilize her mana, but then she can't play developed Spider Tank either. Is it better to play Spider Tank first to give a 3/4 instead of a 4/4? Possibly.
Does the mech really matter?
Pilot Shredder will still be up. Unless he wants to trade into Pilot Shredder.
I don't think you can trade into Pilot Shredder here.
No.
If anything, trade into...
It's like a desperation move.
Maybe a reversing switch could be also decent here.
Oh, you're right. The reversing switch will give him the ability to trade. Man, Nadia is going ham. She's going really aggressive, where I expect her to make some conservative trades.
Yeah.
I mean...
It's funny that both hands have 4 spare parts at this point. But one of them has the Archmage Antonidas.
Yeah, but not the Finicky Cloak Field, which would have been game-breaking. I'm actually pretty impressed how Nadia's been able to weave in some damage, and it's been working out, because it could backfire.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it might be one of those cases where finally the spare parts end up being really useful. The Warling Blades is highly impactful.
I would argue that it might even be backfiring at this moment because Nadia didn't decide to trade with her Tinkertown Technician. Now, Dog's Tinkertown Technician will be able to kill 2 creatures, both in the Mech Warper plus like one of the Spider Tanks or the Tinkertown Technician from Nadia at the same time.
I mean, she's trying to cut a lot of corners to get back into the game. It's effective. Like, that's why she's been attacking face so much, trying to make Dog go for the trades.
Well, actually, you know what? Dog, probably unwittingly, he has put the the Pilot Shredder in the middle.
Nah, maybe he finally understands.
Oh!
A mad scientist! Oh, that's bad news for Nadia. And I mean, Dog is in such firm control. He's got Antonidas too for spare parts.
Yeah, not only that, but he has a Pyroblast in his deck. Ooh.
Dude, that's crazy. Oh wait, Mirror Entity stops the Antonidas from coming down. That's pretty funny. All right, so you got to ping off the spider tank.
So the real question is, how many of your spare parts do you use on this turn? You can use all of them.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the coolant would be okay to just stall. Maybe even... Actually, would you want to use the cloak field so that way you can get a better trade? Or you want to save it for Antonidas?
I don't even know at this point.
Yeah. That's really funny. You can't play Antonidas now because of that mirror entity. You can't kill it off, right?
Yeah.
Or can you?
Reversing switch.
No, reversing switch only do 2 damage effectively to the Antonidas.
So you're 1 damage off. Is this just
This is awkward.
It's just like a ping pass turn.
Yeah,
essentially.
So unfortunate for Dog, because he has like the game-winning combinations here.
All he needs is like just some minion. The issue is like Dog has just he definitely can win, but how like it'll take a few turns for him to win. Like he has the Power Blast on 10 and that costs a lot of mana, but he also has the Antonidas combo and that also costs a lot of mana. So in total, it'll be about 3 turns before Dog can do enough damage to Nadia's face.
Nadia is also still really hurting. If she doesn't have any other good minions to, if she just keeps drawing blanks, you know, a Noyotron here, it's like she's gonna be struggling. Frostbolt is pretty weak as well.
Well,
both these players are just like tripping over the finish line here.
You can just ping the Mad Scientist. That's actually really good because the... Oh, actually, no. The mirror entity was still on the field.
No, Dog doesn't have mirror entity.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So mirror entity will come on. Actually, I would have considered not playing the Cogmaster in the previous turn as well. Because now, like, you basically give your opponent an extra mirror entity on the field.
Dog looking for a mech. Whoa! Dr. Boom comes in a hand. And that's going to be a big... Oh, wait, there's still that mirror entity. Gosh, forgot about that.
Oh, man.
And Dr. Boom is impervious to the reversing switch. So there's no easy way to go about this.
I feel like you still can go for it, though. Yeah, just play the Dr. Boom. It busts up your Cogmaster, and then you put your opponent closer to lethal. And basically, you're not really threatened by lethal, are you? Let's see. So
7, 2 fireballs. Yeah, he has to have fireball, frostbolts to lose.
Okay, so but Dog, if he's been keeping track of Nadia's hand, he knows that she has 4 spare parts.
Right. Like a lot of spare parts.
Yeah.
You can even just guess, like, yeah, like, you know, 2 or 3 of them have to be spare parts. I really like this taunt on the Cogmaster. That is an excellent choice. Of course, you know, Nadia has that coolant, which can be so big. And, you know, humorously enough, she has a play with the Time Rewinder and Dr. Boom. Fireball is also a lot of damage. In fact, Fireball lets her push through, freeze the Dr. Boom, and even cloak it. How does she want to do this? She has to really count up her damage. She'd be putting 14 now. This is actually really complicated all of a sudden. Would you want to rewind Boom now? And then emergency coolant?
Yeah, I don't really have too much of a problem with that.
You definitely want to keep that fireball for finishing damage. Wow, spare parts are pretty nuts, man.
Yeah, give him the right option. Yeah. Oh, you can even cloak it.
Yeah, I mean, Antonidas might be too slow for this to be the finishing blow.
Now, what if these boom bots kill Dr. Boom?
That would be insanity. All the boom bots.
Oh,
all the boom bots are gone.
Oh, okay. So they're gonna survive at least.
Yeah, Antonidas, and get the reversing switch up.
Is that the? I feel like you want to switch like a minion that's not an Noyotron.
Yeah. But anything really doesn't matter. Oh no, Dr. Boom's a 7/7.
Oh no.
Wait. Oh man, 2 fireballs. That's 12, 19. So, wait. How does this work?
Okay, so
the most you can do if everything hits the face, fireball and ping is 13, and then Dr. Boom is 20. So Nadia is 1 damage off?
Possibly.
Oh, right. That's the boom bot perfectly hits the
Okay,
Neutron. Dude, that Neutron was really clutch, actually.
Alright, what's it gonna hit?
Oh! Okay, now Nadia has 1 damage off lethal.
So you know your opponent is gonna have 2 fireballs.
Well, at least 1 right now.
Yeah.
You can't win if you clear the board. So you at least have to clear the Antonius, though, right? Because that's just a win condition right there. So you have to fireball Antonius, and then ping it, attack with Dr. Boom to the face, and then Rusty Horn your Dr. Boom. Oh,
Ooh,
she
full
trades. Oh, she blinks, and that's gonna mean that basically it's game. There's no way unless she somehow has Antonitis.
Yeah, she's not going to
sorry,
expect this.
Alex Straza.
She's not going to expect this at all. What?
Yeah.
Pyroblast and Mech Mage?
Whoa. And Dog's gonna advance 3-1.
She's like,
okay,
okay,
you got me. You win.
All right, you put that in your deck. Okay, I guess I can't beat that. I give up.
All right, well, Dog advances 3-1 and keeps the Frodan dream alive. Because I was like, if Dog, you lose here, I had